Cultural differences. Well, there's so many, and I can't really pinpoint one. There's so many differences, like it's almost like living in a different world. We're the same human race, we're all humans because the environment is so different, and even the language itself is so different that everything about the people living in that specific region is different. So let me think what I would like to tell you, like what I think is the most important when it comes to the cultural differences. I think the one, for me personally, the one that I had the hard time adjusting to was the idea of collectivism versus individualism. Americans like to prioritize individuality. We like our freedom of speech. We like our rights. We like the idea of having gun ownership for self-defense. We don't like to be grouped in together. We don't like to be categorized as a group. We like to be individuals compared to any other country in the world, especially United States. Because UK is now changing. Europe is now changing into more of a collectivist country. But United States fights really hard internally, domestically, to ensure that we, as the people, have the freedom and liberty to be individuals, not be subject to collectivism. Compared to the East, like China, Korea, and even Japan, in a different sense, we are all subjected to cultural collectivism. If you look at China, I think it's so much easier when you have 1 billion people in your country. It's so much easier to rule and govern that large amount of people, that huge population, when everybody is subjected to the same standards. And I think for that reason, if there is any domestic like uprising or riots, we don't hear about it a lot. Well, especially here in the West, in the United States, we don't hear about the uprisings in China. Either they censor it or there isn't any happening because they'll probably arrest you. Whereas here in the West, there's so much domestic like violence, always protests and activism going on. And that all comes because we have the luxury to enjoy individualism. We have the luxury and the liberty to think for ourselves and to make our own judgments, even if that judgment is wrong. We have the freedom to do so. We are very much against oppression and dictatorship. We want the people to have the power, even if people are silly sometimes. So that's number one. I think that's the biggest difference. Even in Korea, it exists. Although in Korea, you have the power to protest and be an activist, we still, as a Korean, I can say this, in Korea, there's a culture where everybody must uphold a certain standard in society. If you don't, maybe the government won't come after you, but will come after you. The people will come after you. They'll ostracize you. You'll become an outcast. You won't have any friends. Your status matters. Your symbol matters. You must be a working citizen. Or you become an outcast. You become lonely. Compared to here in the United States, if you have a job, any job, you could work at a factory. You could be a business owner. You could be a manager at Burger King. As long as you have a job, you deserve and you have earned respect from other people. We don't judge people by their class. Maybe we do internally, but we never let that show so blatantly like Korea does. In Korea, if you're a soldier in Korea, you work for the government and you're a soldier, everybody, including the soldier, knows that you're kind of a joking matter. Like your career is a joke, and people will let you know. I think those are a couple of differences. Is that that's what I mean, that Korea has, maybe not the government, but the people themselves have established a certain cultural norm where you have to be, where it's almost like it acts as a collectivism. There's this saying in Japan, don't be the odd nail that sticks out. Everybody conforms to the norm, to the societal norm, to the certain structure they have established for themselves, to the culture. Everybody conforms. Everyone must be in uniform. That's where actually the uniforms come from right? Japanese and Koreans and Chinese students too, they all wear a uniform because of that reason. They conform, they are uniform, they don't like to stick out. They actually think it's a bad thing when you stand out and stick out. They all hold each other to a certain level of standard, and they all hold each other to a certain level of expectations. And that's great because nobody gets left behind and everybody does their part. But what's bad about that is nobody is glorified or admired or encouraged to do more than the other. Everybody does the same. Whereas here in the United States, because you are encouraged to be special, because you are encouraged to stand out and do more than your peer, you are awarded for your individuality or your own personal strength and differences. And you're actually encouraged to be different. For that reason, if you look at it like a wave in an ocean, Japan, Korea, China are all very subtle, but they're calm. It's stable. It's almost like a zen. And you compare to the United States, we're a rough wave. We have our highs, we have our Google, we have our Meta, we have our Amazons, we have our new startups, innovators, creatives, creative minds. And then we have our lows. We have people that are just extremely terrible for society. We have our criminals. We have our drug dealers. We have our bad people. It's extremely chaotic. That ride in life is very different from the West and the East. That's why literally almost all startups, China's kind of different now, but almost all startups and all the big companies originate from the West.